instances of paranormal phenomena have been reported in this desolate place. Events that may reflect the area's tragic past.
Coming through.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Other Dangerous Podcast, where we talk all things paranormal. I'm Ken James, and this is Jason McKittrick.
Hey, folks.
And if it can haunt, howl, or dwell in the dark, we want to talk about it. So, for this episode, we are joined by one of our favorite lunatics. Introduce yourself.
Ryan! Hey! What's going on?
Ryan's back with us.
I'm back. Yeah, a little more sober this time.
Yeah, well, not for long.
For now.
Yeah. So we couldn't have another Halloween episode without Ryan because he was part of our first inaugural Halloween episode.
Thank you, boys.
We are having our Halloween rescue. Jay, what were we gonna say?
I mean, we're about halfway to Halloween, right? And it's about that time that, folks, I mean, we need that good rescue dose, that good Halloween spirit, right? So we're here. We're going to, we got some Halloween memories we're going to talk about. We got a couple good stories. But first off, I just want to take this first off.
Yep.
If you say spoopy instead of spooky, just press stop and unfollow on your Other Dangerous Podcast.
If you say spoopy, if you're one of those, it's spoopy season. First of all, motherfucker, it's spooky, and just get out of my car.
There goes half your followers, by the way.
Hold on. Go to an emptied out pool. Go to the diving board and fucking just do a fucking nosedive.
Hang on. Are these the people that want to get some kind of like social hierarchy just because they watch horror movies?
Yes.
Did you say hierarchy?
Hierarchy.
Is that part of like some kind of like
they're
I don't
like,
know.
oh, they take pictures holding their like Nightmare on Elm Street VHS. And
all right, now we're losing half of our audience.
Now we lost.
Never mind.
And lost the script 30 seconds in. All right, guys.
So anyway, here's what we're saying. All right, we're a couple, three spooky motherfuckers over here, and we have enjoyed the Halloween season since the moment the first breath was thrust into our lungs.
Worshippers.
So what we're saying here is, let's not go off track and make things too cute. We want to go into the world of Halloween. Now I'm going to give it to Jay.
Okay, so we recently had a nice little contest that we put off. Folks submitted some stories and to win a little set of figures that I put together. But for this episode, I wanted to bring in one of our loyal listeners, a gentleman by the name of Mikey.
Mikey! What's up, Mikey?
Mikey! Represent!
Love Mike.
Scream is awesome.
Sorry about what I said about David Arquette.
So, he had a submission, and I wanted to share it because I appreciated it because he attached a picture, which is really fantastic. There's a picture of him with his grandma and his brother John, and it's just that old school, like that. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
The old school,
shot,
the vinyl pullover with the mask. It looks like a Ben Cooper or maybe even a
dude. That is the spirit
Bill.
of Halloween. Just in
yeah.
And
I gotta say about Mikey. He has been awesome. He's been posting us. He shows so much love. And,
he's a great dude.
Mikey's awesome. I really want to thank you, Mikey, for all the support, man.
Thank you so much.
Yo, same here, Mike. Seriously, that dude fucking supports all the underground shit.
Exactly. So, Mikey, I just wanted to read Mikey's submissions. So Mikey says, "Hi guys. When my brother and sister and I were young, our grandmother, who we affectionately refer to as Bummy, I love that, was telling us stories about her late husband Harry. After the stories were decided to watch a movie, but the TV and VCR wouldn't work. We tried everything, but it refused to go on, so we gave up. Just then, Bummy looked up from her newspaper she'd been reading and casually said, 'Harry, turn the TV back on for the kids.' The TV instantly came to life, and the movie started. We turned to Bummy, shocked, and she just smiled and returned to her newspaper, never explaining herself." Come on. That's
Classic. Grandma knows more than we do.
Always.
Has one foot through the veil.
Oh, yeah.
Knows what's going on.
If anyone has a foot through the veil, it's always a grandma.
Always.
Dude.
Always a grandma,
100%.
Because that's been like a theme that's been going on. We have like the ghostly grandma.
Yes.
stuff
That's a lot,
Since
dude.
our first listener story, me and Jay, we've gotten a slew of grandma ghost stories, and I'll tell you what, I couldn't be happier because grandma ghost stories, like you were saying, grandmas know some shit.
That's the thing. Is that from being a woman?
It could-
Not
I
even
think so.
in
I
a
think
negative
so.
way.
Hey,
You
I
know
think
what
so.
I mean?
No. I think so.
There is an intuitive thing about being a woman. Women are more in tune to, and let's send it over to
Christina.
we have a fourth guest in the room.
My
that-
second wife, Christina.
Yeah, right.
Hey, everyone.
So, all right. So I think this is actually kind of poignant, actually,
Yes,
because
yeah.
we're at the point where we're talking about grandmothers, and this is the first episode that I'm recording there. Both my grandmothers have just recently passed, and they're on the
R.I.P.
other side of the veil. Love you, Grandma. So, do you think that there's something about women that actually, I don't know, gives them a certain perspective about the other side because they produce life?
Yes, I think it's just a tuition. I know myself, I've never seen ghosts per se, but I could always sense when something was around.
Right. So, in essence, women just know better.
You said it, not me.
Wait, can I go somewhere right now? And this can totally be edited out. Someone brought this up to me one time that the reason why women know is because the menstrual cycle syncs up with the moon. And a woman said this. A woman said this to me one
What's
time.
funny? Here's why I'm gonna laugh.
And I do want to
I've
say
heard this too.
Okay, all right, yeah. And is that
Yeah. So hold on, Christina, can I ask for all three of us? Is the menstrual cycle much like the tide of the
my
lakes
God.
and sea? Is that?
No comment.
men are not allowed to know this ancient wizardry?
Three idiots.
Yeah, 3 idiots in the room. So okay, all right. So but,
Three.
yeah. You're the non-idiot. So Christina, all right, I actually do have a question for this. So you were saying, okay, intuition. What you were saying, you have an intuitiveness. Yes, you created life within you. You raised that life. It's yes, the man has a big connection, but the mother just dated.
Sure.
Is so now. That process, do you think that gives you kind of a connection to just nature?
Absolutely. And I definitely feel like the whole process of becoming a mother and growing a life inside you definitely connects you with nature.
Nice.
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
And that's
Exactly.
why we act like fucking cavemen, apparently.
we are.
Because we don't have that.
See, I'll tell you this. As a man, I'm an uncle. Thrice over. I have nieces and nephews. I have godchildren. I don't have my own yet. I have dogs, but what I'm saying is I don't know that kind of relationship, that kind of bond, and the what I see with mothers, even my own, the connection. There's something there. There is some supernatural connection to me and my mother.
Oh, yeah.
I think that they're definitely. I mean, I can only say from living, being around many women in my life, is especially when living with my wife, that there's something that men in general just aren't gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something that women just are in tune to that we just don't get.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's why we have them around, because it's so they can be like, all right, you guys need to relax.
And I don't know.
Yeah, big connection with grandmom stories, and all of us. So leading into what Christina was saying, so we have our connection with our mothers, we have our connection, and then our grandmothers. There's like a hierarchy of understanding of like the other side with grandmothers.
100%.
Because they've seen more than your mother. They've seen more than anything, and then
It's always the thing, right? Because you have
Yeah.
your family, especially if you have a big family, because I come from a big family, my wife comes from a big family, I know you do, and I'm sure you come from a decent
Oh,
sized
yeah,
family.
yeah.
Who's the one that you go to and ask
The
for like
fucking
advice?
grandma,
It's
dude.
Grandma.
All the time. It's
Grandpa's
always
checked
grandma.
Out. Grandpa's checked out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's did what he does. He's checked out. But grandma's got the goods.
Well, that's the
Always.
thing. They say here's why they say the grandpa your grandfather is the smartest guy because he pretends like he doesn't know. anything.
the
He's over there like,
yeah.
what? Go, I don't know. And then he's like got the game on, and then eventually that's where I would always head after, be like, You know, like, what's going on? Yeah.
And I think this kind of spins into like our little Halloween kind of theme here because you have that wise woman kind of
Yeah, totally.
that wise woman just kind of theme and that archetype of the wise woman that is kind of ties into the archetype of the witch, right?
Yes.
100%,
She was
man.
the wise woman, and what is scarier to a man who doesn't know too much,
Yeah.
but a woman
Then
who
a woman that knows more.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So-
Big
Yeah.
time.
I've always been cognizant of that, and I think that it's just very important to the Halloween aspect that wise woman always comes back because she's got that foot in the other world.
Yeah.
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 When you need that weird piece of advice, you
Yeah.
always go to grandma.
Yeah.
Always, dude.
And it could funny because it could either go like completely on the nose or
Yeah.
be like, well, you have to crack 3 eggs at the stroke of 3 a.m.
That's funny. That's funny because my dad comes from like Eastern European
Yeah.
traditions.
Yeah.
And they have weird stuff. Like if you have you need let's say you need advice on something. Oh, burn a match head,
Yeah.
rip it off,
Yeah.
throw it into some alcohol, and if it does this, it means this.
Yes.
It's
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. You're either getting the best of advice or you're getting the best of folklore.
the best of
which-
folklore, which you
Best
bring
of
that together.
folklore, yeah. Is way
It's like
better.
that meme where you're like,
Right.
grandma cooks you food, lights
Right.
up, and it keeps going, and then it's like
Right.
folklore and actual fact together, and it's Vince McMahon's head blowing.
You know what's funny though, and what's kind of interesting, and I put this kind of together. Like, all right, we're talking about grandma, right? We're talking about like the witch archetype, right? Grandma cooks you food.
Oh,
She
yeah.
puts
Oh.
like the time, the
her
love into
cauldron.
it.
Yeah, man.
Cauldron, bro.
Whether she says something to you that's very like comforting or whatever, you eat her food, and like
Yeah.
there's something in that food that like,
Yeah, it's
the
her
magic. It's in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's like part of the spell casting.
Right.
You know, it's that like, oh, I manifest this, and oh, here is your,
Yeah.
Here's
And
the
then-
thing: is that what the term spell comes from? Though?
No.
I mean, if you think about it, though,
if you go
yeah.
back,
Yeah.
a lot of it, I watched this documentary from a warlock, one of the actual oldest practicing. I can't remember his name. Older guy, longer hair.
That's because he wasn't a grandma. You can't
Yeah,
remember his
he
name.
wasn't a grandma, and I wouldn't. If it was a grandma telling that, I could tell you right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
I would have respected it much more. But spellcasting actually came from communication. You were able to cast a spell. You were able to spell. You were able to write and
okay.
communicate through writing.
You're a good communicator.
And the uneducated weren't able. They were like, what are these symbols?
Yeah.
That's a language.
Yeah.
You know, that's actually
Yeah.
writing. So
all right.
so people that
okay.
were able to
Yeah.
pass messages back and forth, it was considered, oh, this is secret. It's like, well, no, you just didn't learn how to fucking read.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, from my perspective, I will say my grandma was making me food
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
talking to me. That was definitely a spell, man,
Yeah,
because
that was-
I'm
yeah.
going to take those memories to my grave.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
And whether you're a man or a woman or whatever, when grandma is sitting there and telling you shit,
Yeah.
that shit just seeps into your mind
Yeah.
and lays a nest.
And it's there because
Yeah.
like what
Yeah.
the crazy thing is like, and then you like go back. It's like you have a dish that your grandma made, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna try grandma's recipe.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then you try it that somebody else made. Oh no, it's
No,
not.
it's not like grandma's.
Yeah,
Nothing is ever like
something
grandma's.
missing.
They didn't
right?
learn that magic yet. You
It's
know?
not,
Yeah.
but it's not that they maybe didn't learn the magic. They have different magic.
Right.
You know what I'm
Good
saying?
call.
So it's like, oh man,
Dude.
grandmas.
And you know, that's the thing.
This could be 3 hours
Yeah,
of
but
content.
Here's the deal. All right, so to move forward
Yeah,
with this,
yeah.
I do want to say the connection of and here's why Halloween for me with grandmas is so nostalgic. Okay, so I was born on Halloween at around midnight.
Oh, wow.
I was dead. I was brought back to life by the doctor. The nurse named me, and both my grandmas every Halloween would be there. You know, and my Aunt May, who that's a whole other episode, but my Aunt May, or I'm sorry, both my grandmas were, but they were always there. So Halloween for me, it's a big grandma holiday for me. They always, you know, Jay, you can elaborate and go for it.
Well, I just wanted to say somewhat of a similar story. I was born dead as well. 13 days after Halloween, I had my umbilical cord wrapped around my head.
Samesies.
Yep, and my grandmother was always a big part of my life. And before I was born, my grandmother was one of the chairpersons of the Halloween parade that takes place in the town that I live in now, which is actually the second biggest Halloween parade in the country. Her and my grandfather, because they were involved in the fire company.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But like, you know, my grandmother was, you know, always very involved, and I'm not going to get too much into it because I'll get emotional. But
Totally. Yeah.
but it's.
That's the thing. You're going to get emotional, though.
No, it's
what
great.
I mean?
Well, you know why? Because
that's the impact it
you know
had
why?
on
Because
you.
like if you think about it, not to get too like wacky here, and we'll get to more fun stuff in a minute. But like, you think about grandmas, and like grandmas, like when you think about your life, it's like who's the magic person in your life?
Yep.
It's your grandma.
Easy.
Think about it. Who's that magical person? Think about it. Grandpa's great. Grandpa's got here. He's got
here you
change in
go,
his pocket.
kid.
He's got some candy for you. Grandpa's great. I'm not diminishing grandma.
Yeah.
But grandpa's got that magic eye kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like she always has what you need.
Yeah. Well, Grandpa.
Always have. Absolutely, man. I mean,
Grandpa, but real quick, Grandpa
Yeah.
for me was like roll of quarters, put it in your hand, throw an overhand right at their nose.
yeah.
Different kind of magic.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Different kind of magic.
Yeah.
Fist magic.
Yeah.
Isn't that a series of films? Fist
Yeah.
Magic
Oh
9?
yeah. There's a couple of fist magic.
Is that by Damn Daddy Productions?
It is.
Speaking of grandparents, let's talk about fist magic.
Anyway,
Yeah. Back to
so all right. So I mean, we have speaking of Halloween rescue dose, and I know we just wanted to go into this this witch motif a little bit because witch in the past few centuries has maybe had a negative connotation, but I think lately and within the last 50 to 100 years, it's really come around back to where that whole like wise woman kind of thing.
empowerment.
It is empowerment, and I don't want to go too much down that path because I'm not even trying to say that. I'm just trying to say like everybody knows to your bone that like who's the most important person in your family? It's that grandma.
Yeah.
It's like when you want to go and find that little tidbit when you just got something that's missing, you just want to go over to your grandma and be like, "Hey, Gram."
Oof, you guys are killing me right now. Because that is so true, dude.
Yeah, well,
Seriously.
and one last thing before we progress.
Yeah.
My mom has become the grandma now.
Yeah.
And like, I see her like not in a new light, but I see her in this different and like. She came over the other night. I was telling Jay.
Yeah.
She dropped dimes of these ghost stories.
It's
on
funny,
me.
man,
She's
because
got-
like I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Because like me and my wife have been talking about recently. We're seeing both of our mothers become the grandmother, right?
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
they're the grandmother. Like
Yeah.
my
But then you see that change. And
Yeah.
it's almost like
yeah. An
it's
evolution.
like a
It's an
fucking
yeah.
it's like some weird Disney fairy
Yeah, it's
shit.
like a spiritual
yeah.
evolution,
Yeah.
and it's you can watch it on their faces.
like
It's-
grandmother Willow is appearing in our like.
yeah.
Dude, this is good because man, that is the witch.
And we love
It
your
is. In a good
approval.
way, in a
We
good
love
way,
your
though.
approval, Ryan. We
No.
love your
Yeah,
approval.
yeah.
and the funny thing is, it's like it's so obvious, but not at the same time. Because like
Yeah.
I think a few folks that are listening to this right now, they're gonna be like, "Holy shit, you're right."
See,
And if you still have your grandma there, your not great grandmother, not if your grandma's still there, go absorb some nuggets of knowledge.
Yeah.
You will regret it later on.
Yes.
Go there, ask her some stuff. Just ask her some questions. Talk about some stuff. You will absorb knowledge that may not make sense to you now, but it will down the road.
see, and Christina, go ahead.
I was gonna say, give your grandma a hug, kiss her, tell you
Oh
love
God.
her.
See, I thought we were going to be talking about
Wait a second, yeah.
Halloween here. And
We are,
it's-
we are.
No,
This
we
is-
are. And it's funny. This is like kind of fucking with me now because I'm thinking about my grandmother right now.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I will say, when I go, my grandmother, she passed. And when she passed, I don't want to get too into it, but that fucked me up.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, I still go to her grave and I
Yeah.
talk to her.
Yeah.
That's
Well-
some shit.
well,
You know what
here's-
I mean?
here's-
That's some shit. And
here's
you
where
guys
this-
are just throwing
yeah.
this.
Well, all right,
I didn't
all right,
think we were
so
going to talk about grandma
here-
shit.
Real
like-
quick. Well, here's where this leads into the conversation. You go to her grave, you still talk to her. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Who's to say what she hears or not? But you're still communicating with something.
All the time.
Which on Halloween, the veil is thinner.
Oh, yeah.
The veil is clearer. And a reason that we're getting into topics like this now is because, like we said, it's our new format. We're able, we're not in this time constraint of, all right, we have this time during the week. We have to get this done. We have to make it as funny as possible.
Yeah,
We have to do
yeah,
this
blah, blah,
thing.
blah. It's a business
and
thing,
now
yeah.
it's like me and Jay can look at each other. We can have our actual conversations. And this is what we're going to do going forward. And honestly, we're honored to have you here with us doing this. And,
Oh, yeah.
and it's great. And Kristina, you my girl, Kristina. But so yeah, all right. So
Hold on now.
It is
Hold on
with
now.
the grandma
Hold
thing.
on. Hold on now.
Your guys are so right, though. It's
We're
like,
sitting
fuck.
here. We got our blow mold plugged in. Yeah. Hold on now. Grandmas are kind of here right now.
Yeah, no, they're here, dude.
Well,
They're totally
let's start
here.
with this. It was what I said when I first got here, because we were saying, like, maybe we were going to record outside, this and that. No, we got the overcast sky. We got
Yeah.
the water cascading. There's
Yep.
water in the air absorbing the energy. We're talking about, we're calling in all the elders, you know?
Yep.
It's just
Yeah,
that
yeah.
good, vibey shit
Yeah.
that I thrive for every day of my life.
100%. 100%, man. Seriously.
But Grandma Rocco, Grandma James, let's go.
Those outer vibes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Outer vibes.
No, I'm gonna call on them too. Grandma Pat, love you. Grandma Marge, love you.
Veronica,
Yeah,
I love you to death.
this one. Did you see the flick? The lights just flickered. I don't know if anyone just saw that. For real.
What
Hold
is going on?
Christina, we're going.
It's actually my grandmother's 85th birthday on Monday, so we're gonna celebrate this weekend with her on Sunday. I
Yo.
love my grandma Millie.
And hey, you got anything to add there, girl?
It's just that I love her.
That's a good whole
Yeah.
new perspective
So,
on
all
the
right.
witch.
So, real quick.
That's the essence of the witch.
Yeah.
that is the
Let's-
yeah. Seriously, the essence
Seriously,
of the witch.
ruminate on
Holy
that a little
shit!
bit.
Yeah.
Like that's what the witch is. It's the wise woman in your community, which is your grandmother, and it's like, you know, I'm not going to get too technical on it and all that religious stuff, but
Yeah.
you got your grandma. If you still have your grandma, go give her a hug, talk to her.
Yeah,
and
she'll
if you
know.
don't,
Holy
if you don't,
shit.
just give her a little, you know, just keep her in your mind, keep her in your thoughts, and maybe think back to some of those great times you had with your grandmother, because maybe there were some nuggets of knowledge that you can pull from that, like, oh, that makes sense. Because I've had a few of those over the last couple of years.
Yeah. And one thing about so literally when Christina was or Ryan was calling his and Christina was about to call hers, literally the lights flickered on the sconces, and I feel that we have the grandma force with us right now.
Now we can do anything.
Yeah.
Let's go rob a bank. We'll
Yeah.
get away with it.
Because that was the great thing about grandmas.
Yeah.
Grandmas have a little bit of that, like, renegade attitude
Yeah.
where they're like, you know, just...
They're like, why didn't you just kick him in the face? You know, like that kind of
Dude,
stuff.
all
you
the
know?
time. My grandma, I'll never forget, she said to me, when someone hits you, you hit him back.
Yeah.
And for a minute, that got me in a lot of trouble.
Well, there
but,
was yeah. Well, okay, so all right, let's move on from the grandma thing. But yeah, so Jay, you have some stuff.
Yeah,
you wanna
so
go over?
I just, you know, I wanted to keep it nice and loose, but, you know, once again, we're talking about this, you know, this Halloween rescue dose. You know, what does that mean? I mean, you know, we get halfway through the year and, you know, we kind of want to have a little bit of that magic kind of like maintain. I mean, there's those folks that say, oh, Halloween 365, which I want to punch in the throat. But I want to...
no, go
But
ahead.
I want to talk about a little bit, like, let's bring some of that, back. So I have a couple of questions that we're going to pass around to the room.
All right.
And I think that it'll kind of bring up that Halloween flavor, you know? Bring some of that Halloween flavor into the room.
Juice.
So, that juice.
That juice.
That drip. That Halloween drip.
Halloween
Halloween
drip.
So,
you got any of the Halloween juice, bro?
damn, daddy. So I'm gonna throw the first question out to Ken, and we'll pass it around the room. We got, you know, a couple people in the room. So, all right. Favorite or most memorable costume that you had over the years? I'm gonna pass to the Ken first.
Well, all right. So my mom was notorious in our family for whipping up costumes. She would do it. She'd go to the Michael's or whatever the store was, and this isn't actually my costume. This is my cousin Ed.
Okay.
So
It wasn't based around his hair that year.
No, it wasn't. No. This is before it was the coif was that
Okay.
majestic. So he gets the Spider-Man like bodysuit, and my mom goes to town with a ski mask, making the whole Spider-Man mask with her, you know, acrylics and like the stuff.
t-shirt paint.
Like, yeah. And she makes the whole webbing.
Yeah.
And I remember like being like, you bitch, like you made it for him but not for me. And then here's the kicker.
Yeah.
He was like, it doesn't match the bodysuit.
Oh!
And like, I love the guy to death. Love the guy to death.
Eddie, you
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Here's the deal. I was like fucking 6 or 7.
You were
You
like,
know, I looked at him and I was like, you know,
my mom just took all
Yeah,
this
but
time.
no, not even that. I was just like, my mom could have made that for me. I would have wore the mask. Just the mask. I didn't need the suit.
I mean, if we're gonna go back to what we were talking about earlier, was that your mom's like magical apprenticeship? Think about it.
Could have been. Could have been. Could have been.
I love that story.
Magic apprenticeship.
All right, so I'll answer and then we'll pass around. My most favorite costume. I was 5. All right. My mom's a seamstress, so she always made all of our costumes. I think I mentioned this in an early episode. I was 5. My mom made me a Dracula costume, which when you're a kid, there's nobody cooler than fucking Dracula.
It's a rite of passage as a boy.
Think about it. No, think about it. What other fucking monster has a goddamn medal? What did he do to earn that medal?
I'm gonna touch base with you after this.
Look, I don't care if it's a kaiju. It's fucking Dracula. All right?
Well,
you could burn him.
Dracula is the quintessential Halloween.
Yeah, well,
He's the
costume.
king of the fucking monsters.
Yeah,
Don't
he
even
is.
say
Yeah. First of all, hold on. Dracula is not only the most vicious, like, warrior.
Oh yeah.
Hold on.
Vlad.
Oh, we're going. He's got a medallion, right?
What did he do to earn
Got
that
a
medallion?
cape. I'll tell you what he said. He's the biggest pimp that ever existed. He's out there. Doesn't need no
He
canes.
is.
Ever.
He is. He's a
got his
pimp.
cape. He's 3 steps cooler than James Brown.
Listen.
James Brown did the cape and
Listen,
medallion.
he's
Listen,
undead.
Yeah.
He's a fucking necromancer.
Three
He gets
wives.
turned into a werewolf.
3 wide.
And his
You
dick
can't
is
kill
hard
him.
24/7.
That's Ryan.
That's right. That's all we have him here. Yeah.
You can't kill him.
Yeah.
They say stake through the heart. That's only to
No,
paralyze
that's
him
it.
for a
You
while.
gotta cut his head
have-
off.
You have to cut his head off, and
Yeah.
even then, you have to burn him and then scatter his ashes to the 4 corners of the
Yeah,
earth. And
good
even
luck.
then,
Yeah.
if you bring them together, Castlevania has taught us a lot.
That's it. Yeah, Castlevania has saw
Anyway, back to my story.
As much as
no, it's
the
good.
Monster Squad got lucky. Let's just say that.
They did with the Dracula.
Anyway, so my mom makes this costume of the greatest monster ever.
The greatest monster ever. No, you're right. I mean,
Don't push me with your knee.
Yeah.
It's true.
yeah. I'm sitting here like, oh, okay.
upset with you, like, you mother.
I mean, Godzilla was created in the 40s after Dracula was created like almost a century before, but it's whatever.
He's not even. He's the wrong kaiju. He's the wrong kaiju.
Godzilla's
right now.
really cool. The Japanese have been usurping our horror for
Listen,
years.
I don't want to turn this into a Japanese versus Eastern, Western kind of thing, but fucking Dracula. Even the anime kind of they're like, oh shit, there's Dracula.
Well, he's the Japanese cravemen like him. They love using them as the stereotypical.
Yeah, they need that.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So my favorite costume, this is like nerd territory. Favorite costume, I was 5 years old. My mom makes this Dracula costume, full on costume, got the cape, the collar.
Mm-hmm.
I even had a fucking she turned my Red Rider wagon into a coffin.
Yes.
I won first prize in my division in the Halloween parade. I was on the cover of the Asbury Park Press, which is a major newspaper in this area.
Where is that? How much is that going for on eBay right now?
I regret inviting Ryan. $6,000 right next to the Sonic the Hedgehog toy.
No, that's good. That's good. No, that's awesome, man.
So anyway, my favorite costume, because it was my mom had just started making costumes, which she would have done for the next 25, almost 30 years. And we won that, and it was awesome. And I think it kind of gave my mom oh, look, what else could I do? Because there was crazy costumes she did afterward. But that's my favorite because I remember it the most. And I remember it was all right, Halloween is aside from a million other things, is the Halloween of artistic creativity.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
110%.
You have other holidays, and they're awesome. We have a great time, but Halloween seems to me to be the holiday of artistic creativity, and you almost can't dispute that. Shut up.
I was gonna say, I'm waiting. I'm just taking a breath.
And it becomes that holiday where it's what you do with your own hands.
Yeah.
And I thought about that for a long time because I myself, I'm an artist too. And you think about that as you're creating stuff, and it's what does that do? If you're creating stuff every holiday, does that create, whatever it is, does that create some kind of a, there's magic to that, and whatever you call magic, there's a magic to that every year you make these things with your own hands, like, and you pass it down.
Before
And
we
it's
go to
like-
Ryan, I
Yeah.
wanna. God damn it, you are right. And
Totally right, yeah.
but I want you to have your point. I do. I
Even,
really do.
even if you don't make costumes, you carve the jack-o'-lanterns
Yeah.
with your own hands. It's like there's something handmade about
my
the whole
my
holiday.
my runner-up costume, but I want to bring up something else about
Mm-hmm.
my mom. My runner-up costume, I had the Imperial Guard red helmet.
Oh,
You
the
remember
Red
it?
Guard, yeah.
Do you remember how to get the mask on and off through the fuck? You had to do the Nero face.
Yeah.
You had to go because I had it, and your face would get stuck. You had to go fuck you to get it off.
Yeah.
But my mom made the rest of the garb, made the suit. But my mom, she would always around Halloween make these mummies and these witches and like the salt.
Dude, that's the thing. The mom would. The mom
My
would do
mom.
it. The dad never made.
Nope.
When did your old man make you a fucking costume?
He made me a bastard.
So that's my. That's my thing.
Wah, wah.
Is that part of the thing we were just talking about?
Listen, man.
The grandma
Listen.
thing.
It's the grandma thing, but like before when they're
But
the
before
mom.
the transitioning phase.
Yeah.
It's a
Mom-
magical apprenticeship.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Isn't that crazy?
Moms are going through their.
That's their. They're like.
They're creating. They're the ultimate alchemist.
That's what I'm saying though. Like.
They're hold on. They're just women when they become mothers become this focal point of creativity. Whether it's they have kids and then it's like it's just creation. They give like knowledge and they give like just it's just love and it's just like
Well, because
crazy.
it gestated within them. It grew into something. But the ties in, you see like the
Yeah, like.
the things, the electric flying around with their tongue. Like my mom, like all right, real quick, Ryan.
No,
he
my,
wants to talk.
I know, but my dad would be on the couch, pilled out of his mind. And
Yeah,
would be
exactly.
Like, and would be like, like you hear, we were in the basement playing 64, you hear, Gardy, or whatever. You send whoever turns up, whoever friends over. And he'd be like, yo, could you switch the channel for me? Great attempt, Pop. But my mom would create art. She would create wisdom. She would create happiness. And you know what else she would create? Ass whoopings if you fucked up.
And that's my thing is like, is that there's a timeline right there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Bring it
There's
on.
this timeline, and is that part of the timeline into the grandma phase of the elder female brain?
Could be.
And I don't want to sound like a fucking caveman dumbass man, but
But do it. Fuck it.
yeah,
do it.
you know what I mean? Like fucking. They're the ones making the costumes. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
They're the ones creating this. We're not sitting there like, oh yeah, my dad made me. And that does happen.
I'm
you
sure
do see that.
It does happen.
That one dude made the alien costume, and it was all technical.
We're
and shit.
talking about.
We're
like,
talking fabrics.
Yeah.
and,
We're talking over the amount of data that we can gather. You know, like, over the time. There's so much more
everyone's
data.
always like, my
on-
mom made me
Yeah.
this costume. My dad made me, or
And
whatever
you're
it
not
is.
disparaging dads for doing
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm not
It's
at
just
all.
most of the time.
But there's something, when your mom makes you a costume, when your grandma makes you a costume,
Yeah.
there's something.
So what is your
There.
costume?
So my costume, Jay, was Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the coming of Gozer.
The Destructor.
Which the Destructor, but there is no argument there because obviously it's Dracula. And that's like some serious shit. That's some history
It
shit.
is some serious
There's no argument there, but Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I mean, it's kind of corny though when you put it on. You're a marshmallow
Yeah,
man.
but see, it's
and
not
you're
that it's
looking there.
corny. No, it's not that it's corny because
you're the coming of Gozer.
Like my mom
Hold
made.
on.
The
Hold on.
Destructor.
There's nothing corny about Stay Puft because
Destructor.
hold on. Listen. Stay Puft draws you in with that like false sense of security. Oh, it's Stay Puft, and then he just fucking steps on your church.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's
Yeah.
like, yo, everyone's like, look, oh, what is this fucking fat motherfucker? Yo, I am the coming of Gozer, dude.
So who made your costume?
My fucking mom made
That's
that
awesome.
costume. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know
How old
exactly
were you?
what
Tell-
you're saying.
give
Oh
us-
my
give us the
god,
full
I was
story.
like 8 years old, and I remember I was sitting there and I was dressed up like Stay Puft, and I saw all these kids coming down. You know, they have their Spencer's Gifts mask with the fucking giant hooves and shit. I'm like, you know what? They look really badass, and I kind of felt like a little cornball walking around my Stay Puft shit.
I guarantee you feel much better now because
I was a coming of Gozer, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, ghost heads. Yo, I am the destructor for.
Vorgus Gildrahar.
Fuck you, exactly, dude. I'm coming to step on your church in my marshmallow outfit and go fuck yourself.
And you know what? Like the homemade costumes always bring it in.
Homemade Stay Puft shit, and I still wish I had it.
I hear you. So as far as the homemade costumes go, or they don't have to be homemade, but what my wife Kristina, who's here obviously, a memorable costume.
Ryan took my answer, so now I have to think of a new one. Because I was going to say...
Do that. Tell us the backstory.
Yeah, from your perspective.
So, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man that your mom, who at the time was a grandma, made for Mia for her first Halloween.
Yeah.
Pictures were awesome.
It was awesome.
It was so awesome that we had a professional photographer, computer graphed her on top of,
She was in the city, and
she was in the city, and it looked like the Ghostbusters were shooting rays
Yeah.
at her, just like in the movie.
Yep.
But going forward, your mom, who's obviously a grandma to our children, their first Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
Lily was Fufa from Yo Gabba Gabba.
Oh yeah.
And Nora was a black cat. Classic Halloween costume.
Yeah.
With the big orange bow. So that
Classic.
is always special because it's been a tradition in our family
Yeah.
for your mom
Yeah.
to make our children's first Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
So those are my favorites, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
I love you too, Kenny.
And
Penny.
Penny. And also, just a little aside right here. If you guys don't know what Yo Gabba Gabba is, you can be an adult and put that show on. If you want to put
that's funny.
Listen, take edibles and watch Yo Gabba Gabba.
Well, I was about to say,
Drop acid and watch Yo Gabba Gabba.
It's one of the greatest
Welcome
shows
to the
ever
new
made.
religion.
I'm just saying.
They have a Halloween episode and it's fucking awesome.
I'm just saying. In my latter days and my younger days, I've done some stuff.
lonesome latter years.
Yeah, I've done some
Edgar
stuff
Allan
and
Poe,
watched
the Conqueror Worm.
Yo Gabba Gabba.
It's so good. Okay, so all right, so now that we've got these, fun little memorable costumes, let's toss it over to a trick or treat memory, and I almost want to say like a trick or treat memory because this almost goes to, in my mind, one of the last years that you were trick or treating, right? Like, I mean, what was it like? Maybe 13, 14, or even in the early years of high
16,
school.
yeah.
You could get away with it if you were wearing a mask.
Oh yeah, totally.
But what's that?
You finish your question.
Oh, I was just gonna say I was gonna go into my story, but go ahead.
No, you go first. I'll come back to mine.
So, all right. So my trick or treat memory. This was 9th grade, and I think this probably was my last year. This is freshman year of high school. I think it's probably my last year of trick or treating. Friends of mine lived in one of those one of those communities where it's like they have it's like a couple. It's like buildings, but they're like all like condos in one building. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even know what you call that. 60 acres. That's where it was. So we would go there every year, but this was like the last year. And when you're in that I don't know, that teenage kind of energy where you're you want to fucking break some shit, but at the same time you still want some fucking candy. You want the kid side, but you also want.
But you also want to be an asshole.
You also want to be right. You know what I mean?
I still feel that way.
Yeah, it's the point where you feel how you are now.
Yeah.
There's a point where you were then,
Yeah.
where you were you're I want to still do the cute fun stuff, but you're also I want to be a badass. And then
Yeah.
you're grown up and you're I still want to do the cute shit, but I
Yeah.
also want to be a badass.
Exactly. So we're in this area. It's called 60 Acres. It's in Jackson, New Jersey. I don't know if the statute of limitations. I mean, we didn't do anything that
You're
fucked
fine.
up.
You're fine.
So they had all right. So in the area where you come in, there's a big map of the fucking place. This place was fucking huge. All right, and they had a big wooden map of the whole thing. So for some reason, it was of all the streets. So for some reason, it was my mission that night to fucking drop kick through that sign.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, this is going to happen. But we were trick-or-treating at the time. So everyone's trick-or-treating. We're out there doing the thing. Trick-or-treating, going to all the houses. If there's a pumpkin.
Yeah, doing the thing. You were doing the damn thing.
Doing the thing. So we're doing our thing. We're out there. There's a big group of us, as freshmen in high school. You got a fucking crew of 12 fucking kids.
You're all trick-or-treating, trying to get candy, trying to also be an asshole.
Yeah. You got everyone dressed in their costumes. You got a couple girls in the group. Most of them were conservative. You got the one girl that's dressed like a straight up hooker almost.
Go the opposite way for us. one conservative, rest hookers.
Oh, okay. Well, this is Philly. I'm talking about like rural New
yeah,
Jersey.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's Philly now, still.
Well, that's it.
So we're going
There's
around.
no conservative in
We're
Philly.
getting our candy, and then like low key, we like get our candy, and then after they shut the door, it's like, yo, grab that fucking pumpkin. We're gonna smash the shit out of this fucking thing. We're smashing pumpkins, being jerk offs. So we get to the end of the area, right? And this was like the community, but like at the end of it, there's like older houses, right? So we see the end, and we're like, oh, there's a couple houses over here. Let's check it out. The lights are on. One has a couple jack-o'-lanterns. One has some like blow molds or whatever. This one house has like 3 or 4 jack-o'-lanterns, hand carved, and like. Right now, if I saw that, I'd be like, "Oh, that's fucking awesome!" Like, I'd want to go interview him.
You would fight.
Yeah, like I'd be
Someone
like, "Do you want to be on a podcast?"
Yeah.
So we get up to there, and I'm like, "All right, let's check it out." So there's no lights on in the house, but there's 4 jack-o'-lantern like faces like under their like awning. You know what? It's like they have.
What are the lights like around? Is
There's
it just,
no lights
it's dark,
on.
just the
Yeah,
jack-o'-lanterns?
it's just jack-o'-lanterns.
That's the man that I want to be as an old. like,
Okay.
oh my god.
So that's like we're like, all right. First of all, we're asshole teenagers. So number one, we want candy. But number two, we want to smash those fucking jack-o'-lanterns. Something I would never do now.
I know, but I like I'm upset with you right now.
I'm
because-
upset with myself.
Yeah.
But wait till you hear the end of the story. So we move over there. We knock on the door. Little old lady comes out. Sweet as could be. Oh, I love your costumes. The whole spiel. Like, oh, that's great. You know, I don't even remember what I was dressed. I think it was like a ninja that year. I don't even remember.
Every other year.
Every
it was
other
a
year
nin-
you were
yeah,
dressed as a ninja.
Yeah.
So we go over. She pulls out the candy bowl. It's like this is candy from like the Depression. Like it's old. Like she had some of those. Remember those ribbon candies? She had like ribbon candies with fuzz on it. We didn't even give a fuck. We're like, whatever, just go back to whatever you're doing. We're gonna smash your fucking pumpkins, which she clearly carved herself. They were crude, but they were awesome. So we get our candy. She closes the door. Nice as could be. I still feel bad about it. We're like, all right, we're gonna smash these fucking pumpkins. We pull up. She closes the door. We're like, all right, grab the fucking pumpkins. I grab the first one. And my buddy Mike grabs the second one. I smash the first one. Mike goes to smash the second one. And this fucking voice comes out of the house. What the fuck are you doing? Get off my property. This lady was like 5 foot flat. The voice that came out of the house was like Satan himself.
Witches.
We were like, Mike had the pumpkin. My buddy Mike had the pumpkin above it like this. He was like looked around, put the pumpkin down, and we just like, it was like a movie. We just backed away from the house.
Yeah.
Hold on. There's a little like epilogue to the story, all right? So October, right? Mm-hmm. Fast forward. It's like December, right? Christmas time or whatever. You start seeing Christmas decorations go up. The fucking house is abandoned. There's nobody there.
Fuck you. Are you
There's,
serious?
there's nobody. There's
No.
nobody there. Listen to me.
Are you fucking with me right now?
On my
Hand to
kids.
God?
On my kids.
On your kids, hand to God.
On my
your
kids. Hand to God. On my kids.
So the spirit of Halloween.
Listen, no. I'm not making any conclusions.
I just was.
Okay. The house is fucking abandoned. So we're there Halloween night, pitch black. We see the 4 jack-o'-lantern faces. Nice lady, whatever. I smashed the first one. I'm the only one that smashes a fucking pumpkin. Mike tries to. This voice comes out of the house. And we just stop. We back away. We're like, okay, maybe her son lives there. You know, when you're in a situation like that, you don't think that the devil's in the house.
Yeah,
you just
well,
think like,
you think there's a dude that might have a gun.
right. Like maybe
Yeah.
her son still lives there upstairs or some shit. We're like, okay, sorry.
And
sorry.
he's like, my mom made those fucking jack-o'-lanterns. You're
What
done.
was the
Yeah.
voice?
It was like he was like, get the fuck off of my property. You're smashing my shit. Like he flipped the. It was totally.
Was that a setup? Was that like, you know what I'm saying?
No. This is on.
That's what I mean.
I could take you to where the house would have been.
So, all right, where in New Jersey was this?
Jackson, New Jersey.
It was in Jackson.
60-acre reserve. You go to the end of this. I could even show you on the map where it is. Today, there's no house there.
Spectral setup.
There was a house at the time. It was an older house because it was outside of this community. Like I said, Christmas time. We're like, oh, dude, wasn't that fucked up? And we were like, dude, we went past the house the other day. That house is abandoned. And it was abandoned. And that's the end of the story. There was nobody
good.
in that house. It was old. Now, you could go back and say, all right, people were like, hey, you want to fuck with some kids on Halloween? But like,
Look, I'm gonna tell you
that's
something.
a little
I'm gonna tell you something right now, real quick. You mentioned Halloween. You went to Christmas.
Yeah.
That story brought me to Thanksgiving because fucking turkey's done and my nipples are hard. That's a fucking story, bro. That's a fucking.
Turkey's done and my nipples are hard.
How have we never talked about that?
because it's like, I remember the story. Like, I'm
Yeah,
sitting here and I was like,
yeah.
oh, let's bring us some Halloween stories. Like, oh shit, 60 Acres. Because we went there like, dude, it was like 5, maybe even 6 years in a row. And nothing happened. I was like, oh, that one fucking
That's
year.
good though, man.
There was one year
that's
where
nice.
a guy, like, we were fucking with shit and a guy chased us. And it was nothing. But that year, it was our last Halloween. And I remember it because we didn't trick or treat after that.
Yeah.
And that one year, it was like, I mean, you know, I could go crazy and say, you know, Halloween was telling us, you guys have had enough.
Yeah.
Or I could say, you know, someone was fucking with us. Or
Well, here's
Or it's something else.
here's the thing. If you want to go crazy,
Something was fucking with us.
well, you can go crazy. And be
have you ever
like-
seen The Thing? John Carpenter directed
Crazy
it.
movie.
1982?
Check
Weird.
it out. Kurt Russell's in it. It's wild.
You ever heard of it?
Kurt Russell's my dad? So
Is he?
Really?
Wait, so Wyatt Russell's your brother?
I wish.
He's not a very good Captain America. He received death threats.
First of all,
Really?
fuck you. Wyatt Russell's awesome.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's
He was good in that
Overlord. He was good in Overlord.
Overlord's
Yeah,
good.
he's also awesome as a prick as U.S. agent.
I get the whole fucking dynamic. People on the internet don't get the dynamic.
Well, people on the internet can suck my asshole.
Anyway.
He's a test tube,
So
baby.
anyway, okay, so
Ken
so-
James, give me your trigger sheet memory.
all right, so we had a bunch, but there's going to be 2. There's 2 here, just one.
The best of the two.
Best
Separate
of-
the wheat from the chaff.
Best of the 2. Okay, so 1 year in middle school, going in high school. You know, I was the guy with my friends who would be on the phones with the girls.
Are you wearing Tim's at this point?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Bro, like, are you trying to insult me?
I'm just asking.
Yeah, no.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm going to make sure we paint the whole photo.
So don't ask, because
I'm asking for the listening audience.
yeah. Oh well,
Oh,
okay.
that's good.
For the listening audience who doesn't know, your
Ken
boy
was a jerk off.
Ken was a jerk.
I mean,
Hey.
wait to hear my story if we're talking about
I'm
jerk-offs.
just throwing shade.
No, no, it's fine. You can throw all the shit he wants. Kenny was
Shit
doing.
tosser.
Kenny was doing work. But anyway, if you like it, you should put a ring. But no, so I set up this. Like I've always been super in Halloween, haunted houses, all this stuff. I've always been into it. Like there was a point where I considered it as a career, but in reality, I was like, I'm not an engineer. I don't have capital. Let me just make fun of every haunted house. So
Good.
Yeah, that's always a backup.
Yeah.
Just make fun of
Just
it.
make
yeah.
fun of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best backup of all time.
Right.
so I decide to
Is
expand.
your middle name Varg?
Don't get it, but we'll keep trucking. That's a private joke over there. But so I decide that, like, all right, I'm gonna do something psychological to the kids in my neighborhood. So the year prior, I was Michael Myers. I had the mask, I had the jumpsuit, I conditioned the jumpsuit.
Tim's.
Well, yeah, they were the black Tims.
Oh,
I used,
okay.
I used the black. No, I used my blue Tims
Blue
for that
Tims.
costume.
Interesting. I thought you only had the work boot Tim.
What are you? What?
I don't know, man.
I had 4 pairs of
You were
Tims.
12. I didn't pay too much attention.
Yeah, well, you shoulda, because I had the work Tims, the black Tims. I had the blue
He was
Tims.
expecting you to realize this,
and
so now
then
the
I
truth
had
is coming
the
out.
gray Tims.
All right, I'm just.
Murdoch had the baby blue Tims.
I don't care about Murdoch.
Yeah.
Just, you
Well, anyway, so I had Tims. So
love you, Murdoch.
yeah, you're the man, buddy. But because you, but so I decided I was gonna do this whole setup. The plan was, and while I was doing this, Sween and my other friends were cursing me. We should be out talking to girls doing this. I'm like, we're gonna do this anyway, but it's
Wait,
the
so you're
weekend.
talking about scaring trick or treaters?
Yes.
Okay.
But hold on, let me get to the point.
Okay.
So I decided that I set up a fake Michael Myers sitting in a lawn chair in my mom's front yard, and it was one of the only times that my mom let me fuck with the yard. You know my mom.
Yeah.
So I have a fake Michael Myers that night, Halloween. I sit in it, I am the Michael Myers. That's been there for 2 months since
Yeah,
mid-September.
yeah, the classic.
Mid-September, everyone's like, "Oh, that's been there." They know. They come up.
They're not going to expect someone to sit there under the.
Yeah, like, and I'm doing the whole thing. I'm there, and I get up and scare kids, and then I end up later going trick or treating the next because the first year everyone's like, "You go to
Yeah.
That night I end up going trick or treat later, and everyone's cursing me about because they're kids. What did you do to my kids? Like, are you the asshole that was on 270?
That's what Halloween's all about.
Yeah,
though.
but
What
like,
the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like that was the thing.
It
And then
scared my kids on
Amy
Halloween.
Stackhouse, she was a little girl at the time. So I was bouncing at the bar, and she still, you fucking scared me on Halloween.
That's awesome.
Like still,
That's a
and then
legacy.
Then we talked about this on
That's
one
it,
episode.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that is my favorite. And then one little quick one. I remember when I thought my oldest brother was the coolest person in the world. He got one of those skeleton life faces. Him and Joe Pierce.
Hey,
neighbor.
those were awesome. You get them from Pathmark.
Yeah. And he had one. I remember I was going out
Or
with my
Shop,
friends.
right?
And then I saw him and Joe Pierce, and they were like dead gangsters kind of with it.
Yeah.
And he was walking around with a boombox, and I was like, my brother's really cool. And I remember that being a big thing for me. Like, this is what Halloween's about. See?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It changes.
It
So,
does. It
Ryan,
does.
trick or treat memory.
All right. So this is going to be a trick or treat / mischief night memory.
Hold on. We're gonna get to mischief night.
Yeah.
So you gotta.
Can I be the transitioning point here?
You want to transition? All right.
Well, not because it was a trick or treat.
Well, it's your show. So.
Yeah.
kidding,
It was like it was a trick or treat. It was a mixed bag here. We had trick or treat, and we kind of acted it like it was a mischief night thing.
Yeah.
So it was, and I remember this because I will not condone these actions, and this is why I remember it. It was one of our last Halloweens, and we used to have this game that we played as a kid called Run from the Cops. And we would find a cop car, and we would make sure someone was sitting in a cop,
Okay.
and we would go in front of it, and we'd pull our ass out, or whip the finger or some shit. So Halloween was a Thursday, and we were like, all right, fuck it. We were like, it was one of the last ones. This might have been the last one, because I don't condone these actions. So like, all right, let's do a fucking heavy game and run from the cops,
A heavy game.
Yeah.
So we're all,
I love that we knew were there like
yeah, heavy game. So we're wearing our masks, and we're trick or treating. We got the bags and shit, and we're acting like assholes and still being kids.
How old
And
were you at this point?
I was like 15 or 16 before my driver's license, so probably 15.
Okay.
So 4 of us go in front of a cop car, and we fucking show our asses to the cop car. And we like, the lights go on, we're like, fuck yeah, run from the cops. Can't do this shit now. So we're running. We go into this, we run into this fucking garage. And we lose the cops, things die down, and there's a car. And
you show your ass.
100% don't condone these actions, everyone in the audience. There's a vehicle there, and my buddy, which I won't drop names, he's doing well for himself now. He was going through some shit at the time, and he looks at us, and we're on our costumes, and he's a cinder block, and he goes, should I throw this cinder block through this car window?
So he was going through some 15-year-old shit at the time.
15-year-old shit.
Okay.
Some Timberland
That
shit.
lasted a good 7
I know
years.
about that Timberland shit.
He's like, should I throw this cinder block through this car? You're fucking kids. What the fuck's it gonna matter? And we're all like, oh yeah, dude. Yeah. Because it's not my problem at this point. It's his fucking problem. You know what I mean? It's like, go ahead, throw this shit, whatever, we'll run away. Fucking homie gets on top of the car, raises the cinder block over his head, throws the cinder block through the windshield, we run away. All we hear is the guy going, motherfucker! Anyhow,
I think it's a death sentence.
Yeah,
in some
I gotta
fucking
interject
countries.
real quick. No, not other countries. I'm telling you right now, as a 34-year-old man, If I caught your 15-year-old
Oh,
buddy,
yeah, absolutely. I don't condone this at all.
there'd be a 357 Magnum shot in his ass.
Yeah, 100%. I look back at this and I'm like, no fucking way, dude. Like, that is dumb as fuck. I mean, I didn't fucking do it.
At the time,
I'm condoning my buddy, thinking he wasn't going to do it.
At the time, I would have been laughing and running
Yeah,
with you.
you know what I mean?
talking about...
Go ahead, dude. You won't do that shit. And, like, he was all about doing crazy shit. And I was like, holy fuck, he did it.
He was like the precursor to Jackass.
Yeah, exactly.
He was
And
like Steve.
we're all watching that shit at the time, obviously idolizing it. Like, let's all be dumbasses. So anyhow, next day, it's like third period class. All the same hand-picked assholes in English class.
Dude.
Sitting there. And
Hand-picked ass.
here's how it starts.
Money.
English teacher. Okay. So someone threw a cinder block through my fucking car. How are none of us gonna just, all four of us still with the eyeliner on? You know what I mean? All four of us simultaneously. You can't control that jaw drop, dude.
Yeah.
You fucking can't.
And you can't control the nuts sucking into your stomach.
Dude, I'll never forget it. Like, seriously, nuts in my throat, head down. Like, she knew. Like somehow, is this the witch thing? Anyhow.
No,
She
that's...
knew, and this was it. This was the last straw. I was like, I'm too old for this shit. This has got to go.
You became Danny Glover
Because
overnight.
She was just like,
No more cinder blocks, Raj.
She was like, someone did this, blah, blah, blah. And then the class went on, and the whole time, like, you got to keep a straight face during class.
Yeah.
Like, you're saying, oh, yeah, sure, I'm taking notes. And then at the end, she goes, all right, I want everyone to leave except for you four. And I was like, I'm fucked.
That's it. Dude, how did you get caught so bad?
I know. Were we just I grew up in small town like Appalachia, so like
They knew you did
the
it as soon
assholes
as-
are the assholes. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like you
Okay.
can pinpoint them out. I think there was like 150 kids in my school.
And there were 4 assholes.
Yeah, there were 4 assholes. I was one of them, and that was when I was like, this is too much. I gotta transition. So then you just start working at Hans. So that's my story. Fucking wild story, too.
Hey,
I'll
man,
never
I
forget
mean,
that, dude.
Sometimes they just... sometimes it's just what it is, because
It's like this. I didn't think he was going to do it, but he fucking stood on that shit like King Kong, looked at us, and threw that cinder block through the windshield, and I was like, holy shit. Motherfucker did it. And
I mean, you know, it's just what it is. Kids get out of control, but you know, that Halloween has that energy, right?
Exactly. It has the energy of shit like that, you
It's
know?
fucking crazy.
The veil is...
So, all right, so we're talking about Halloween, and it's like, you know, there's that mischief kind of aspect to it. There's that, like, you know, it's the night to be bad. You get to, like, you know, change your appearance. You get to be
Change your
somebody
appearance,
else.
yeah.
But another big component of it is that candy, right? We're out there for that candy, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So-
yeah. We want that juice, dude.
So, when you were a kid, what was that candy you were after? What was the best candy you wanted to dig in and be like, oh, I got one of these? And not just the full candy bar. What was the best one? Like, what was the candy you were like, all right, I hope I get at least one of these tonight?
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Reese's peanut butter cups are the king of candy. I mean, they just are. I mean, Reese's are always the good stuff because it's like that's the crowd pleaser, right? But have you ever was there ever one that you got to like, I've never even heard of this before? Like, this is fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
All right. So one year, remember those like those wax bottles?
Oh, yeah. Love them.
1 year.
Wax lips.
Hold on. 1 year, it was a wax bat filled with
juice. Yeah.
It was
yeah.
a giant bat
Yeah.
filled with like some kind of juice.
Yeah.
And I've never seen it again. And I got it one fucking year, and it was from some house, and I don't know which one, because when you're fucking out there, you're just like,
You
yeah,
don't
candy,
know.
whatever.
Yeah.
Throw it in.
Stuff it in.
So it was like 8 inches, easy, full of this like delicious
12
fucking-
ounces of juice.
You became I like that night. I became Ozzy. I bit the fucking head off
Oh,
the bat.
yeah, and you drank the
just
blood.
Drank the
yeah.
blood, and it was fucking awesome. And I've never seen it again. I researched it. I found it years later. I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. But like, I never got it again in my candy sack. And I was like, that is fucking awesome because it was a bat filled with like blood.
Yeah, it's amazing. Great candy design.
I was raised by my mom. I didn't really have a dad in the picture after 11, and like even before that. So it was like gone. So it was like so many family members trying to make up for the situation. So there was always candy through us. So I really didn't have like a shocking like, oh, this is new until someone gave me $100,000 bar.
You like
that was the one.
I never had it before.
Yeah.
I was like, wait. Caramel harder chocolate with these crunchy cookies. Like I didn't, Crispies. Yeah, Crispies. I couldn't. I remember having it, and I was like, "This is candy." Like I was like, "This is the other side that I never saw," and it changed my life.
It's amazing about candy too, because like you go for like there's like two. I think there's two like categories of candy, right? You have the ones that are like just delicious, and you have the ones that are like they're hard on like the gimmick, right? Yeah. Like remember Mr. Bones? It was the coffin full of all the little bones.
And you never actually. I would always try on my grandmom's table. I would try.
Bullshit! I got a full skeleton.
Never did, dude.
Never got a full skeleton.
Never.
That's
got a full
why
skeleton.
you're on that side of the mic, and we're on this side of the mic.
That's cool, Kristina. Say
Fuck you.
I win.
Speaking of candy gimmicks, mine would be Warheads.
Warhead, when they came out, man, they came out like
and people were like, you have to eat this candy, and can you eat 3? Can you eat 4?
Yeah, there were challenges on the fucking playground.
Like, can you put 3 and 4? I mean, and to this day, I still respect that shit because this is the candy that once you get through that first layer of holy fuck, this is so sour, it's actually very good.
Well, I remember like because all the older guys, like my brother and all his older friends, that were like the tough guys.
Eat a Warhead.
Well, these were the guys that were scrapping, fighting people, and always fighting. And then the Warhead explosion, and I'm fucking 9, and I'm like, they're all out there, and they're like, this is too much, and I was like, I think I could beat these pussies up. I remember thinking that as like a 9-year-old, which led to my nickname, the Bulldog, and thinking me scrapping with all these older kids. And it turns out that if you were a pussy with Warheads, you're probably a pussy in real life.
Wow.
Hold on, pussy with Warheads?
If you put in 3 Warheads and you're like, I can't hack it, I could probably beat you up.
All right, so
seriously, I mean, dude, I used to eat that shit and just stare at the wall.
I mean, here's a real question: why isn't that on the fucking bag of the candy? At this point?
Exactly. Why is that not on the? You know what's funny? All right, it's out of the podcast.
No, it's not out of the podcast. Go ahead.
My fucking boss says to me the other day. She goes, no, seriously. She goes, I'm sculpting something, and I go, well, for who? She goes, Warheads. I was like, that's fucking awesome. And she goes, I never heard of it. And I'm like, what? The most intense candy of like the 20th century.
How dare you say that's not in the...
Like, really? You never heard of this? And she goes, yeah, they're paying me to sculpt something for them. I'm like, you're fucking out of your mind.
Yeah.
Like, and I gotta follow up on her with this because I'm like, give me that shit. Like I want...
Do you have a candy?
The Reese's.
I did say before.
She said Reese's.
Reese's peanut butter cups. But also, I am a slut for Twizzlers.
She really is.
Oh my
Slut
God.
for Twizzlers.
Which I don't understand, because that fucking candy's 90% wax.
Fuck you.
No, fuck you.
No. I have right now, in the side drawer right on my nightstand, I have a bag of Twizzlers.
That's weird, right?
Right now.
Did you do that on purpose?
No, but magically it works out.
Yeah.
She also likes black jelly beans, which I don't understand.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
It was my women intuition. I knew you had Twizzlers, Ken. Yeah. But yes, I love black jelly beans. I love black licorice.
Oh, see, that's a rare thing. That is because a lot of people don't.
I disagree with that.
Acquired candy taste.
I'm a Twizzler dude. Dude.
I like Twizzlers, but like, how are you gonna pick Twizzlers over Reese's Pieces or Milk Duds or like it's
or Warheads or like the ultimate like metal candy?
Well, yeah,
it's so intense you cannot eat it.
Do you think Varg eats Warheads?
Varg eats Warheads while he burns down churches.
Here's the deal. I don't really care for Reese's Pieces. I don't like Reese's Pieces.
Well, nobody likes you.
You know what's funny?
No, a lot of people like me.
E.T. even likes
lot of-
fucking Reese's Pieces.
I'm just
Here
thinking
we
too.
go.
Like, think
Here we
about
go.
that though.
Jay's got another friend. I'm out.
Here's the thing. I'm just bringing this in here because we're shooting the shit.
I can see it in your face.
What's going
I
through
see it in your face.
when
It's not true.
Oh,
What's
really?
going through candy companies around Halloween? Because we're talking about candy. Like you guys, they're planning
well,
right
here's
now.
what's going-
Probably, you know what I mean? 'Cause
here's-
that's their jam.
Jay's
dude.
got one.
Candy
too.
from the 90s, it was that extreme era.
Oh,
So, of
yeah.
course, you have hot or sour candy, because you also had hot candy from that time.
Yeah, spicy candy's good.
Now
Yeah.
it's
I hate
just
it.
bullshit. Now it's
It's
just
candy. Here's
now it's
Hershey,
just-
here's, like-
and like they'll tie it into a franchise.
Just like music.
We're not for the music podcast. They'll tie it into some kind of franchise now, or sometimes you'll get a pretty cool gimmick. Like every once in a while, they'll be like, "Oh, here's some Universal Monster shit." You're like, "Oh, that's awesome!" Or like, "Oh, here's glow in the dark Reese's." You're like, "Glow in the dark Reese's? How the hell am I going to eat glow in the dark Reese's?" I was like, "Oh, it's just the wrapper."
Yeah. Because, well, first of all, the white chocolate Reese's,
The
yeah.
Ghost Reese's with the
No.
logos?
White chocolate,
chocolate
Reese's
with
peanut butter
butter.
cups. You can go tell your mother
Yeah.
that Ken James said, fuck you.
I'm gonna say that. Well, they had the one and they were shaped like ghosts, so I like them.
Oh, hey, look.
The minute you shape a
you just said
candy-
music before this.
Yeah.
Something can be shaped like rock and roll, and I can tell you go fuck yourself. It can be shaped like my favorite thing, a ghost.
But every once in a while, you get something really cool. Like you got those gummies that are like, you ever get the vampire gummies?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, and they're
Gummies are
filled-
delicious.
Gummies are delicious. And remember when we were kids, it was like, they were the little gummies, and they were on like that foil wrapper. You get like a spider shape or a, like
Oh,
a
yeah,
and then you
yeah,
peel the
you
back
peel
off
off
and you
and
just
it's-
pull it out.
oh, yeah,
Those
that's
are
just-
awesome.
that's it.
Where are the gross candy gimmicks? Remember,
Dude,
like
yes.
early 2000s, there was
Creepy
like
crawler type-
there was
yeah, yeah.
earwax gummies. Like it started to get real
Dude,
fucking
Do
stupid.
you remember Barfo?
Yeah.
Barfo shit. Barfo fucking candy, dude.
Yeah.
Puke gummies.
Puke gummies, I mean, I love it. And it's like, you get these kind of like gimmicks that like work. And it's like, you know, if candy companies are listening, because they're not. Yeah.
No,
But if
no.
candy companies were listening, I'd say, guys, bring back some really awesome, like classic.
Warheads, yeah. So sour
Or
that
no,
you
or like,
can't even
no,
fucking...
but listen, like classic monster candy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, give me something awesome. Like, Easter has like solid chocolate Easter bunnies. I want solid chocolate Frankensteins for
Exactly,
fucking
yeah,
First of
for
all-
Halloween, yeah.
First of all, I would love that. I would love if Cadbury came out with a fucking cream Frankenstein.
Well, they have the monster eggs, which are okay.
No, I don't like the green shit. I'm not. No. Don't give me that.
Don't be a princess
No, what I want is Dracula or Frankenstein
with blood in there.
Yeah, like the same filling,
be
the same
cool.
color, and the same delicious fucking taste.
We need that with the Kinder eggs. They did the Halloween shit,
got
which
some
was
good stuff.
awesome.
And-
That was good.
Yeah,
off the hook.
but also
That was good,
But
though.
also, real quick, the whole Kinder thing, super hipster.
It's from Germany.
All right,
well.
so in a more untraditional mode for our episodes, let's for the closing statements. We're gonna do closing statements in the form of, yep, we talked about the costumes that we love and the costumes that we really love, but what are the costumes that bug you? I feel like every year we get like an idea of a costume that like, Jesus Christ, can we not have this costume again? So I'm gonna pass it over to my wife because she really wants to tell you what kind of costume she hates.
It's not that I hate, I just hate that everybody does it. So anytime, because I'm a huge Disney fan, anytime a new Disney princess movie comes out, every girl I know is that princess. I wish kids, girls particularly, had more choices, because I feel like it's either princesses or something cutesy.
But how about when they turn that princess like slutty on the first year? How annoying is that?
It's very annoying because I feel those types of ladies dress like that normally. So they're not really going
It's
out of
awesome.
their comfort zone.
I love it.
I'm gonna kind of piggyback on that because one of the most annoying things I've seen trends in the last 5 to 10 years is that the over the top sexy costumes. Let's be honest. Halloween's great. You should be able to dress wherever you want. But like, do we really need a sexy Michael Myers?
No.
Fucking stupid. And I'm also going to add to that. Can we please stop with the clowns?
Please. let me know when it's my turn to fucking go Super Saiyan. 'Cause-
Let Ryan go first.
Yeah,
What kind of costume, or maybe even specific costume, bugs you? Don't get weird.
You know what? I'm gonna be real on this. I don't think it bothers me. Because I'm constantly surrounded by assholes that wear
I like that answer.
costumes all year round.
What about those guys that buy those $6,000 Sonic the Hedgehog costumes?
Well, anyhow, on the $6,000 Sonic the Hedgehog costumes, that's another conversation that we need to have. I like people expressing themselves, and for a while, the sexiness bothered me. But in my head, it's like, am I going to complain about seeing some girl's asshole?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to complain about it.
You stop getting hard.
Which costume involved the girl's asshole?
No, you know what? Here's the thing. When it's like sexy, whatever, and they're wearing a thong, and there's just.
Well, Ryan has the ability. We talked about in the last episode, superpowers.
Yeah.
He can
see
through
people's
clothes,
assholes,
but it's just to their assholes.
It's just to their assholes, exactly.
All right. I must have been taking a pee break for that portion.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I
Continue.
think.
Keep up, Joe.
I'm like.
Sorry.
There really is. I mean, honestly, there really is no costume. If people are just wilding out, I really don't mind. I think it's. And this is for another topic. I think it's when it's reused in corporate. That's when it pisses me off. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, perfect segue into your boy.
And we can segue this, and I don't want to rant, but Spirit of Halloween's kind of been really fucking up the past couple of years, just reusing the same shit over and over again. And I love Spirit. Anything Halloween I love, but dude.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to throw strikes.
You know what I mean?
Put me in, coach.
You can tell when shit's just a cash grab. So if you want to dress up like something, dress up like something. If you want to be slutty,
it's celebrating,
be a
right?
Slut. You know what I'm saying? For me, Halloween is anarchy. There's no rules, so do whatever the fuck you want. I don't really.
I'm ready to rock.
Respectable opinion.
No,
all right.
And I've worked at haunted houses before, so all right, go ahead.
All right, hold on.
Ken.
We put Ken in a straitjacket
Yeah.
so he doesn't get too crazy.
Yeah. Let's hear what Ken has to say.
All 2.5 million people who dressed up like fucking Joe Exotic and.
That's corporate. That's what sucks.
Here's what I'm saying. It was a perfect segue.
Yeah, it's corporate.
Everyone that thinks that oh my god, it's Halloween, I'm gonna be so different, and I do the same fucking costume. Everyone's Harley Quinn. Everyone's the same Joker of the movie that came out. Everyone's the same character of every movie that came out. Everyone's this character of the fucking TV show. Bring some fucking originality into your Halloween spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember the year when everyone was dressing as Lady Gaga?
Well, yeah, and
Was that 6 years ago?
Hold on, though. But was it a thing that Lady Gaga stole cigarettes?
Yeah,
was that
well,
a thing?
all right, here's the deal. So that was around the same time as all the girls wearing gangster outfits, too. So there were the female, Bugsy Siegel and all that.
So you're saying that Harley Quinn was just gonna happen?
Well, it was, but Lady Gaga and Gangster Female once both blew my friend Joe V to steal his Newports.
We were there.
Yeah.
So
One of the greatest. Yeah, they blew him and stole his cigarettes.
Blew him?
Blew him together.
Sucked his dick.
Sucked his dick together.
Really?
Stole his cigarettes, and guess what he was dressed as?
What?
A baby.
A baby. In
He had a diaper.
Wait. When
Easy
they
on off.
blew him, did one suck his balls?
Maybe.
And the dick?
They were trading off.
Unnecessary
Har-
information.
Can we get
Maybe harmonica
Unnecessary
stuff.
information.
Yeah.
Wait, really? Lady Gaga sucked off one of your boys?
No, two Lady
No,
Gagas.
no, it was a gangster and a Lady Gaga.
Oh, dressed up like Lady Gaga. I thought actual Lady Gaga
No,
sucked off.
no,
I was gonna be like, what the fuck?
real
Who are
Lady
you hanging out
Gaga
with?
is
The Lady Gaga
only
sucked.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
part of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all there.
Yeah. And we still we still love
Well,
to talk
honestly,
about it.
anyone
I
can
brought my
steal
hate
my.
game that year. I was Dracula with armor. Remember that?
And I was Professor Trelawney from Hogwarts because I just had Lily the.
You couldn't remember her name the whole
I
night.
couldn't remember her name, but people enough respected my originality,
They just thought you were high.
and they really liked my hipster.
That's not a word.
that's not what I'm saying.
Hippie.
Hippie.
There he is.
Sorry, hippie costume. So
Is it the indica? Nothing.
So wait, they stole his cigarettes and sucked
Yeah,
them
they
off?
blew him in the. Well, no, they sucked him off
Hold
first.
on.
And then
What brand of cigarettes?
They were either
Reds?
they were Marlboro menthols.
All right, note taken. I will always carry a pack of Marlboro menthols on me.
Yeah, but you also have to do that
no.
at my old
And dress
Halloween
up like
parties.
a baby.
My old
Rest of my life.
my old Halloween parties were legit.
Those are good parties.
Well, why are they not parties now?
Because it's just a passing of an era.
Yeah,
No.
it's
No,
different
it's
now.
not.
Dude, I got too much.
Look, man, maybe this year will be different.
Yeah.
COVID
Exactly.
seems like it's almost over.
Maybe this year will be different.
Maybe this year will be just this year.
So on this, any closing statements from anyone?
My closing statement is kiss up to grandma.
Yeah.
The witches in our lives, realize them.
Yeah, seriously. Big closing statement on that.
Ryan's agreed. Kristina?
Us women are very magical.
Indeed.
And mine is I wish my mom made the Spider-Man mask for me instead of my cousin.
Your mom's awesome.
No, I know. She is. But
Shout out to Sharon.
shout out to my mom, Sharon. Kiss up. You're so alive. I love you so much. But all right, guys, for this episode of Other Dangerous Podcast, this is Kristina.
Hey guys.
This is Ryan.
Yo!
I'm Ken James. And this is Jason McKittrick.
Good evening, folks.
And as always, have a spooky evening. Thank you for listening to Other Dangerous Podcasts. Have you encountered the other dangers? If so, you can email us at otherdangerouspodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to have a discussion about the paranormal, you can find us at Other Dangerous Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. There you can find submitted pictures, videos, and artwork from listeners. We are now streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else podcasts are streamed. And after listening, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you the other dangers.